Hey. Hi, everybody. This is the story of the bent woman. And again, I'm going to try to tell it. This is take 4. So obviously, this is a really good story that the evil one does not want you to hear. So I'm going to tell it in spite of all of the technical difficulties that we've had this morning. So this morning is the story of the bent woman. It's a story that is in Luke chapter 13, and it begins with verse 10. And in the story, it says that Jesus was in the temple, in the synagogue, and he was teaching. And this was his last time to teach in the synagogue before his crucifixion and resurrection. So the way the story goes is that there was, as he was preaching, a woman came into the synagogue and walked right up the center aisle. And the mystery and the real thing about that is that women were not allowed in the synagogue. They had to sit in the back. They had to sit behind a wall where they could hear, but they could not be seen. So for this woman to enter the synagogue was a big deal. She walked straight up the aisle, and the story says that she had been bent over for 18 years with a spirit of infirmity that had not allowed her to stand up straight. Now, I would dare each and every one of you at this point in time to stand up and to bend over and to try to look up. It is so uncomfortable and it hurts. And I know that this poor woman's head and her back must have hurt so very badly. But she walked right up that aisle because she wanted Jesus and she was willing to risk everything. All convention aside, she marched right up that aisle. And did Jesus say, "Hey, crazy woman, what are you doing in here? You're not allowed in here"? No, not Jesus. Jesus said, "Oh, come here, honey. Come here, daughter. Come here." He reached down and he touched her. He went to her. He touched her and said, "You are healed this moment." And in that moment, she stood up straight up. Don't you know she was praising God? Don't you know that she was thrilled that she had been healed after 18 years of that misery? She stood and she walked back out of that church. I think she danced down that aisle. I think she was giving some hallelujahs and some praises. So here she goes down the aisle. And what happened in the crowd in the synagogue? The leaders of the synagogue got very upset and they hollered, grumbling and complaining. "What is this? Healing on the Sabbath? What?" And did Jesus say, "Oh, you're right, guys. I shouldn't have done that"? No, not our Jesus. Jesus looked at them and he said, "You're a bunch of hypocrites and liars. Liars. You're hypocrites. You take your donkey, not your dog, well, maybe your dog too. You take your donkey and you take your ox and you feed them and you water them and you move them on Sunday or on the Sabbath. Now you're telling me that I can't heal this beautiful daughter of Abraham on Sunday, on the Sabbath." And he did. And so all the people who were not the church, officials, who were just regular people, which I think in the story also is talking about the women that were sitting in the back that were waiting for this woman who came out happy and healed. Don't you know that they were happy? It says that in spite of the grumblings, the regular people were so happy with what Jesus was doing. So I want to ask you today, what has you bent? There's something for most of us that holds us prisoner and it bends us over so that we can't see Jesus. Maybe it's regret. Maybe something happened to you. Maybe somebody was wrong to you. Maybe you think you're not worthy. But that is not what Jesus says about you, nor I. Jesus says we are worthy. We can be healed. So whatever you have that is bending you today, I encourage you, I ask you, let Jesus have it. Trust him. Won't you break all convention? Jesus is not about rules. Jesus is about relation. He is not about religion. He is about relation, and he wants a relationship with you. He loved you enough that he died. He will free you from whatever has you bent over. I love you and I wish you the very best. And I hope that this time it works. God bless you. Dare to believe.